I'm Roland Comfort. In this movie, I'm going to show you how to hook up the Sound Devices 302 field mixer to the Zoom H4n field recorder to get great sound for movie making without ever getting a clip. Step one is to set up the Zoom. There's not a lot to that. Set it up however you like. I normally run in stereo. I like to record in 48/24, and basically you're going to set it up the way you normally do. I do go into the input and to the compressor limiters, and I set a limit 3, which is the studio limiter, on the recorder. And there we are. And other than that, you just need to make sure that your line in is armed. Okay. Setting up the 302 is a little more tricky. If you already have one, you already know how to do this. But the way you go into the setup mode is to hold the PKU button down while you turn it on. And what that does is set up 18 stops, positions in which you can make changes to the way the field mixer works. By default, the very first stop is the one that we can use to attenuate the output. And as you can see, it's set at a 0 output, and we want to drop that to about -10. So basically, we're just going to drop it down to -10. Now, as we move through the fields, by coincidence, the very next one is the position where we can drop the limiter setting. The system defaults to a +20 dBu, and we want to drop that to as low as it will go. So I'm going to just take it down, and this moves in half steps. So it takes a minute to get there. And okay, it's telling me that I'm good at just +4. So really all we have to do now is cursor through the remaining positions where we can make changes, and it will set. And that's all you have to do to set up the 302 in this way. Okay, all we have to do now is plug in the female XLRs and the phono plugs in the correct place, and like so. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Keep in mind that these are mono, unbalanced patch cords that are an XLR female to the 1/4" male. I've set everything up, hooked up a microphone, which in this case is my favorite MKH415. That's a 30-year-old vintage mic, but it has really good sound. I like to set my trim and fader at about unity. In this case, it's a little bit lower because I'm really closer to this mic than I normally am. The 302 has a 0 dBu tone generator, which sends a signal of 0 dBu to the Zoom. And when I arm the Zoom, you can see that we've got bars. And what you want to do from there is to fine-tune it, 48, 49, 50. I like to run it at about 55, which leaves me about 2 dBu under the 0. So I've got 0 coming out, but this is register and would be recording at a little bit under that, and I do that to have a little extra headroom, a little extra safety. I'm taking the tone off, and now the microphone is active. We're now recording into the Zoom, and I will take this processed sound and put it into the movie as we finish. This setup is very useful for filmmaking because it's very versatile. With these kind of settings, it can pick up from the very lowest. In fact, I could even whisper, and the whispering, I think, will probably sound pretty good. Or I can speak in a fairly normal tone, a tone in which you might, have actors speaking. Sometimes they speak kind of quiet. Sometimes they speak a little louder. But as you know, when you are on location, the sound guy is not always paying attention to what's going on, and you run the risk of clipping. And that's why the limiters are set on both of the devices to keep us from clipping. Because when we see the red lights, that means the limiter has gone into effect. I can try and yell as loud as I can. I will yell as loud as I can, as loud as I can, as loud as I can. And I'm pretty sure that we're not going to get any clipping.